minuts, passen de les 8 a terme preescalfament, el que ja escalfa i escalfen els nostres jugadors que acaben d'arribar a l'estadi. Benvinguts i benvingudes al prepartit del Barça-Sevilla d'aquesta jornada. Coneix, partidàs amb majúscules, festassa amb majúscules, Barça-Sevilla.
The injury worries first with the foot and then with the abductor, but there he is, the man of the moment. And we'll have a look at the Barca starting 11. Antonio Miguel Mateolos, the referee for this evening's game.
To say, I thought outside the penalty box his performance was pretty poor, but what is the most important aspect of a centre-forward's play is finishing off chances, and they were two outstanding goals that he scored, won the game for Barcelona. So that...
Sergio Roberto playing the ball into the centre midfield. Campos, but it comes clear with Arturo Vidal. The attempted turn by Todibo into Felix Messi with the flick, and the race is on. It is attack on that far side, good footwork and played across the face of goal there. Thumbs up in the centre from Luis Suarez for that ball in. Messi trying to get round the outside, plays it to Vidal. Sergio Roberto will take up the mantle on this near side. Vidal looking across the area. Luis Suarez comes to national. Now the opportunity for Barcelona to break forward. Played into the centre. Turn there.
And more as a midfield player, but having to do a job again, once again in that right back. Barcelona looking to try and take them on, try and score goals, try and be attack-minded. He's keeping it nice and open.
There's Messi with a pass into the centre. And Amy with a close-up view of the benches down there. Puts it back across the face of goal, Terry and wide, and immediately Barca launch the ball forward.
Well, I had sympathy for him on his first attempt. He was unlucky on that one. He was denied by fantastic goalkeeping, but he has to score our post. I'm not even entirely sure it's an attempt at goal. I think it's just forcing it back across goal, right through that ball with so much power to make sure he...
And he's done ever so well as the 23-year-old former Gremio man. That is a free kick, though. No doubts about that.
And it's a clear yellow card, isn't it, Reguilon?
Out tonight, trying to stop that man there from causing havoc down Sevilla's. We'll wait and see. Sevilla haven't lined anyone up lying down, which has happened in the past, to try and stop that. It's going to go over the wall and indeed over the crossbar from Messi. Maybe just a side. Trying to find that top near corner, perhaps.
Going to be at the moment. I expected Sevilla to sit back in numbers and look to try and play counter-attacking football, but it's Barcelona who are counter-attacking more than Sevilla at the moment.
Dembele turns, plays it through to Messi, and it's a sliding challenge, and a good sliding challenge from Diego Carlos that just stops the Argentinian in his tracks. But Messi finally moving across from this right-hand side and looking for those darting runs into the box. Corner taken short. Dembele goes back. 5 Barca players in the area. Should a cross come in. Heavy touch, though.
It has no chance in goal for Sevilla.
And indeed his 4th goal.
So he's in form in and around the penalty area, and they'll forgive him his mistakes already in the short spell he's had at the club.
Messi out wide to Semedo.
And if he couldn't play the ball out the back, if he couldn't pass the ball, they wouldn't have bought him in the first place. So I'm assuming he can do that part of the game.
That piece of skill. And it is another opportunity for Messi in a very similar place to where he had a free kick earlier in the closer perhaps, but a very good angle. Space to lift the ball up and over the wall. And he does, and he goes for the same spot, and it's a very similar result. Over the crossbar and behind.
He's gone for the very same difficult skill, which one, of course, we've seen pull off on numerous occasions.
Of him now, Frenkie de Jong looking to pull away defenders. Dembele almost running into traffic. Messi came across and helped him out, recovers possession. Frenkie de Jong. Messi. Sevilla playing with that really close back four. Barca's wingers now allowed a bit more space. Messi trying to play it through. Ball bounced it. Played it straight out. Now Messi buys himself some space and then plays a wonderful ball through the line. Dembele looks up. Space. Time to have a look up here. Messi. Fernando closes him down, but he tries to pick out the
Barcelona.
We just saw Julian Lopetegui there. I mentioned earlier his last game in charge of Madrid was here when Los Blancos were beaten 5-1 by Barca last October. He must be having a slight touch of deja vu, Terry, at the moment.
He wouldn't have been thinking too much about that game, but possibly is now.
A call up by the Barca head coach. Ball whipped across. Messi will be able to keep it in on this near side. Turns to face Reguilon and then produces the ball in, looking for the run of Luis Suarez. Torres, now Frenkie de Jong. Into the feet of Messi, who looked to turn. Sergio Roberto will...
Atletico Madrid don't concede anywhere near as many as Barcelona.
Certainly if they do, I was going to say hold on, it's 3-0, but if they do maintain this scoreline, or even build on it, and do claim all 3 points to take anything from this encounter. Frenkie de Jong with the touch.
Joan Jordan has come in for all.
Opts to play that one long. Had time and space in the first half to play a lot of balls out, but that's well controlled by Messi. Dembele on the run. Has 3 players alongside him here, but that's side by Sevilla. Vidal with the knockdown. Messi brings it under control, just brings a little bit of calm to proceedings here, and Barca across the halfway line. Dembele, as you mentioned in the first half, Terry, Sevilla keeping that narrow back four, and Dembele with a bit of space over here if they do provide that diagonal pass for him.
And the problem for Sevilla is when teams do normally defend with a narrow mid back four,
cross to the left flank, looking to supply the pass in, but it's thumped away in a smart turn there. Messi just trying to turn.
That's a close offside because it's so close to the halfway. See as the ball is cleared just inside the attacking half of the
ping up. Vatstick stays on his line, headed away out to the edge of the area. Messi with the flick down the line, but it's too far. Luis Suarez and them certainly have.
3 players have started warming up for Sevilla: Chicharito, and for Barca, Busquets and Rakitic.
Thanks for that, Amy. So changes perhaps on the cards for Barca. Maybe at 3-0, Ernesto Valverde can start thinking about resting legs, or Gilberto. Luis Suarez pointing forward, but he won't receive it. Instead, Messi lays it off to Vidal. Calling for it once again, the number 10. Artur. Barca allowed time and space just to lay the ball around. No real pressure actually going on to the man in possession.
It would certainly be very early, wouldn't it, for Lopetegui to bring his last sub on. Chicharito warming up on the bench. May it seem, in that position there, where the defender is a yard or so off of him, he should be doing better than striking that, blazing that high over the crossbar.
Messi went to ground the game against Inter in midweek. So as we've seen, Nelson Semedo having to deputise tonight. Here's Messi beginning one of those familiar runs, round 1, round 2, to a diagonal area, and it's a fantastic save from Thomas Vatstick that denies Messi one of those fantastic goals, Terry.
Yep, such a familiar run, isn't it? He feints, he kicks on to shoot 3 or 4 times in this, been described as a mazy dribble. Attracts defenders towards him. At the same time, he's always got an eye out for a teammate who might be... See Vidal and Artur link up well, and Messi gets the ball here. So many defenders to take on. They're retreating, backing off towards goal. Jordan is from Munier, and you can see here the touches don't get away from Lionel Messi. Gilles down here on the edge of the box. Not sure whether he can concede the challenge.
3-0 ahead with 29 minutes, 28 minutes of the game remaining at the moment. Artur.
You got Ansu Fati, who the supporters would love to see on the pitch. You're winning 3-0. You are in control. It isn't done and dusted yet. So I think it's just a situation. See Valverde was a serious man that's always concentrating.
Messi was trying to set off along the edge of the area. Eva Banega, compatriot, stopping him. Played out wide to the far side. Luis Suarez trying to jink his way into the box. A foul committed by the Uruguayan in the box.
Yeah, that's exactly what he is, and he would have taken one of those chances that have come the way of...
Well, and Gerard Piqué. It will be a short corner. Dembele to Messi. Back to Griezmann. Both sides do have one change left to make in this game, and they have Antoine Griezmann. But here's Messi into the area for Luis Suarez, and that's clever defending, just to do enough to put off the Barca number 9. I was going to punch. We've got Ansu Fati, the youngster that everyone who's seen Barca this season knows all about, but also on the bench, the 20-year-old Uruguay under-20 international. Sergio Roberto into Messi. Busquets back. There's a range cracks. Didn't take one on there. I thought he was going to line one up as Rakitic lays it across to Sergio Roberto. Frenkie de Jong thought about backheeling it back to Messi. Turns, plays it to the Argentinian. Luis Suarez then looking for the return from Messi. Araujo. Rakitic just calm as you like, brought that ball under control, got it out from under his feet, found Messi, who just puts on the afterburners, moves away from his man. Luis Suarez can't get away from Jesus Navas, and Vaclik.
Yeah, have had 10 corners tonight, so it tells you the amount of attacking they've done at 3-0 down.
They're doing some more attacking now. The third try perhaps coming up for Messi. 2 in the first half that flew off target, just aiming for that top near corner of the net, but Luis Suarez deep in conversation. He's walking away from it now, Suarez. I thought he was going to say to me.
Always on hand to offer his services if Messi doesn't fancy taking on the attempt, but it never works though.
Messi up and over the wall. Oh, this time he does get it right, and it's a wonderful strike. Thomas Vaclik tried to get across, but was just unable to keep it out, and that is his 37th goal against Sevilla, and his record just goes on, and it's 4-0 to Barcelona.
But I think what we've seen tonight from Messi is an indication of a player that's almost having his pre-season in La Liga, where he's had no pre-season preparations whatsoever, no training, no pre-season games. He's doing it in the thick of the action. And what we've seen tonight, this is his third attempt from a similar range, a similar angle. And this attempt, he gets exactly spot on. You can see the player that Sevilla line up on the wall there, that lays underneath the wall. But he goes over the wall yet again. And the accuracy is there this time, sufficient power to beat the goalkeeper. And he's delighted to be off the mark.
So that is the tail of the tape.
You can see defenders getting back. Carrizo gets back onto the goal line. There's a Sevilla player, I think it's Munir, who lays on the floor underneath the wall. Vaclik is probably thinking he can't.
Suarez wide to that far side. Messi. Dembele coming short. Nelson, the central defender past you as a striker in your playing days. You said, "Oi, what are you up to?"
And in fairness to Piqué, he knows now Busquets
is in between those two games, the game when we come back and the Clásico. There is the Champions League as another shot comes in. Vaclik on that occasion equal to Messi's effort. Low down to the keepers at the right-hand side. Rakitic into the feet of Messi. Sevilla with all 10 players back, and there's a glorious ball for Luis Suarez into the area first time. Vaclik with the save.
Barcelona can't play the sympathy vote because it's a young player making his debut. He's just come on. When it's the last player and Piqué makes a slight mistake, it was complacent defending from Barcelona.
Frenkie de Jong. Now Lionel Messi brings it under control, rides one tackle. Sevilla dropping back. Messi going forward, plays it forward and out wide rather, and then looking for that.
Their performance wasn't rewarded, Sevilla. I hope they don't get too despondent. It's been a good start to the season, But Barcelona was a much-needed victory to close the gap on them and Real Madrid.